how's it going? This is Pyrotechnics again, and I'm doing another cast. I'm doing 2 in 1 day. How about that? Yeah, I'm getting really into it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to be casting a game on Acheron Wastes. I don't actually know the league, but I'm going to go ahead and I actually need to rewind it really quick. Yeah, okay, there we go. And I'll pop us into the game in a minute. So yeah, I normally have like a little opening monologue thing, and to be honest, I'm not going to tell you how long this game is, but it's a little bit longer than the ones I've casted before. Well, okay, the last game I casted was 9 minutes. Don't watch this video before you watch that one. Okay, fuck it, we'll just get into the game. Okay, and here we go. So, in the bottom right corner of Acheron Waste, we have the Red Protoss! iBracadaBra. I do. BracadaBra? Alright, I'm gonna go with Bra. We got Bra. Alright, Bra. And in the top left corner, everyone's favorite blue Zerg, and mine, Zheryn. So, this is a nice little 1v1 map. Zerg has a distinct advantage in that he can do a little bit of quick rushing and also has an easy couple of places to fast expand. He's got one easy natural right here, and if he breaks these rocks out, he can get this one pretty quickly as well. So he's going straight forward with the Overlord Scout. He knows exactly where Bra is. Maybe I should just go with Bracada. I'll go with Bracada. I like Bracada. But there is a pylon going down here right at the right just outside the natural of Bracada's, well, Bracada's natural. That was a little bit repetitious and unnecessary, but I said it anyways. Deal with it. So, if we take a look at the unit count, we see that, you know, again, pretty typical, obviously. They're both right at the beginning of it, and they're both about dead even. But Zheryn goes with a 10 pool, it looks like. So he's going for some pretty reasonably standard play, you know, just about in any league. 10 pool is going to be good for a fast expansion over here. It's also going to be good if he wants to transition into something a little more aggressive to begin with, if the Protoss doesn't really do a whole lot. It looks like there's going to be a Forge fast expand going down to the natural. This wall is going to be a little bit tough to make for Bracada because he has quite a you know, distance to cover for the wall off. And when the Overlord eventually gets down there, when the Overlord eventually makes his long trek across the sands and sees Bracada's natural, he'll know exactly what's going on. And it looks like that Bracada's probe is going to be putting down a pylon to completely shut down Zheryn's ability to fast expand without killing that, so it'll force him to get out some early Zerglings. A very good play to deny that. And in the meantime, he's going to go into the base, see the spawning pool, and know, ooh, holy shit, things are coming out really quickly. But right now, in terms of supply, Zheryn's not doing too hot. He looks like he did his gas trick. I must have missed it up at the top there, but he goes ahead and pops out a Queen and another Overlord to make up for that. 2 photon cannons going down right now, and a gateway for Bracada, so he's not taking any chances at all. He is completely expecting some sort of Zergling early action, and here we go. These 2 Zerglings and this fast expanding drone are taking out the Bracada's extra pylon there, and he's going to know exactly what's happening. In the meantime, putting up an extra gateway and a pylon to finish up his wall up, and this photon cannon is going to get out just in time to shoot off a couple of rounds, well, only one, at Zheryn's Overlord, and he's, you know, smartly going to be able to hide it over in the corner for a while. So this probe is still, it's completely unseen, and right now, Zheryn doesn't even know. Well, yeah, that's the meaning of unseen, obviously. Man, if I listen to myself talk, sometimes I don't make any sense at all. But anyway, Zheryn doesn't see this probe. He might now, if he gets these Zerglings over to the right position, he's going to be able to pick off that probe and prevent any, you know, additional scouting or annoyance, or maybe even a little bit of cheese in the cannon rush there. But I think that probe's going to get away with his life, maybe just barely. In the meantime, over down at Bracada's base, the wall off is just about finishing up. He's chrono boosting out a Zealot and just pumping out a regular one right next to that. And if you see in production, that's about all he's got going. Well, as he's building a second Nexus and taking his fast expansion just behind Zheryn. So this is actually, interestingly to note, this is actually a really good position for a Protoss to be in. If you are just about on par with the expansions of a Zerg player, you're in pretty good shape, because you get faster, stronger, and bigger units out that much quicker. And wow, what a cool skin for those Zealots. I want to take a look at that. Look at those things. Little black and red ones. I don't know what skin that actually is, because I'm such a nub at this. But we see that if you go over to the back to our unit tabs, we see the worker count is a lot higher for Zheryn. He's pumping out drones like there's no tomorrow. Aside from those first Zergling, that's the only attack units he's made all game. And he's transferring all of his workers down here with 2 queens to spread some creep and larva. And here comes the first of what are sure to be many zealots. And they, you know, nothing doing. Those 2 queens are not having any of that bullshit. So, Zheryn's initial attack is deterred, but he's going to try to set up a good contain right here and maybe deny an additional expansion by Zheryn. But right now, this Overlord is making sure there's no additional expansions going down for Bracada, and they're really, in terms of probes, you know, he's starting to fall behind a little bit. We have a lot more drones because he did make these early zealots, and even though they're doing a good amount of damage, these queens are going to be able to take them out. And oh, he loses that one queen. The second one's in danger, but that one zealot is going to lose all of its hit points, even though it might be able to take out. It does not even take out one of those drones. This other zealot is going to go down before anything seriously bad happens. And I'm starting to think that this was not the greatest decision of Bracada to actually waste those zealots just to try to take out 1 or 2 probes, or 1 or 2 drones, and he manages to. He does get that one queen, which was definitely worth one of his zealots' lives, but right now Bracada doesn't have a whole lot, so he's going to play full turtle. He's starting to get his other gas down here, and silly me, I didn't even bring up the fact that he got these 2 gases. Of course, Protoss usually needs it. He goes straight to a Robo Bay after these 2 gateways, so he's going to be doing maybe a 3-gate Robo, maybe two Robos and 2 gateways. You know, see if he goes straight into Colossus Tech or something like that. But right now, you know, the Spine and Spore are down for some defense, or for good defensive purposes, while Zheryn just continues to drone up. He's so far ahead right now in terms of probes or drones or, you know, your equivalent worker classes. And if you take a look at his income, he's actually, yes, he's up a little more. He's a little more higher. He's teching reasonably well. He's got himself a lair, and he's building an infestation pit so he can go to Fast Hive. He's got his 2 gases here, and he's got all these with 4 gases. He's got them all completely saturated. He's not taking a 3rd expansion, so you'd think right about now would be a good time for him to start building up his forces. He's spreading creep, though, like a boss. And in the meantime, we have an Immortal coming out while Warp Gate is researched for Bracada, so he'll be able to start pumping out more units of his own. But this game is full-on macro right now, 9 minutes in, and no serious skirmishes, just those couple of zealots. And, man, I mean, he stopped droning, so let's take a look at what production. Oh my goodness, we have Swarm Hosts, we have more Queens, and we have Neural Parasite going on. I think that's Neural Parasite. Yeah, that's Neural... No, it isn't. That's not... Guys, I'm such a noob. I'm so sorry. Anyways, it looks like this Overseer is taking a little bit of damage while he scouts into Bracada's base, and he's just going to keep on going. He's going to be sacrificing it while he sees these 2 other gateways with these 3 going down. So we're going to be seeing a total of 7 gateways going down for Bracada while he has the 1 Robo Bay. He's got 2 Immortals, and he's just able to warp in so many units right now. It's not even funny, but these Queens are spreading creep like bosses and bossettes, and we see these Swarm Hosts coming out in mass, so an entire ground force is not going to be a super wise move. But hey, look at this. A quick little proxy pylon right over here just outside the 3rd of Zheryn, and this, if it starts warping in a ton of units, it might be able to sidestep these Swarm Hosts and get straight into the natural of Zheryn. We'll see what happens. It looks like the Mothership Core and this little army of units is going for a straight-up attack, but the Swarm Locusts are doing their job, doing it right, and man, this is a ballsy probe coming in here, but no, those Locusts take it right on out, and it looks like Bracada's not having any of that. He's going to send his units right there, have them sit down, and just take 5, while those Swarm Hosts are in full defensive maneuvers. Good micro on the Swarm Hosts, by the way. Zheryn is doing a really good job. I, myself, have hardly even used Swarm Hosts. I know how awesome and how good they are, and how, you know, they're just so hotsy. They're brand new. It's exciting. And it looks like, wow, with the detection of that Overseer, now, before that thing went down, I believe that Bracada was able to see exactly what was going on with those Swarm Hosts, with all 10 of those Swarm Hosts and those Queens, and he doesn't want any of that. He says, fuck it, I'm going home. But he's going home to defend because these Locusts are going to be able to do a little bit of damage if they get close enough. And in the meantime, we've got more and more creep spread going down all over the place for Zheryn. He is just a master of creep spread. I'm super excited about seeing all of this. And if you'll bear with me a moment, let's go back to the income tag and take a look. It looks like Harvester count is pretty much caught up now. In fact, there's only 5 behind for Bracada, so he's doing a pretty good job in 2-base play. And these free locusts are just chasing down this Protoss army, and, you know, even though they're going to die and there's a secondary force coming out here, these swarm hosts, you know, unless they're caught off guard, are just going to do a ridiculous amount of damage to anything that crosses their path, and this observer is going to get sniped down if that overseer gets any closer than that. But the creep spread is starting to be taken up by the secondary force, and the primary one is moving in. If Bracada's not careful, he's going to lose a couple of these units to these locusts, and it looks like he just has to waste a couple force fields just to deter these free locusts. I mean, right now the map control is completely for Zheryn right now. Oh my goodness, and I'm saying for that and right now and all these things all together at once, but you know how it goes. Production is completely in Zheryn's control. He has got another hatchery building, creep tumors all over the map. He's going for 1-1 upgrades as soon as he pops up these evolution chambers. 2 more queens, 3 spines. He is just running this show, and he's not taking any chances with his valuable swarm hosts and queens. Even though the creep spread is being taken out valiantly by Bracada, his forces just are not enough. And even if you look at the unit count right now, yeah, he's got the Mothership Core, yeah, he's got 10 zealots, yeah, he's got 13 of his sentries, yeah, sentries. God, but these locusts, man, they don't cost a damn thing, and Bracada's in trouble unless he can do something. Now, he is taking a 3rd base, try to get an, you know, macro advantage, but, you know, Zheryn doesn't even need a 3rd, and he's got one. He's not mining it, but he doesn't even need it right now. Look at these swarm hosts. How many does he have? Holy shit, he is up to 20 swarm hosts. One of them's going to get shot down, but no, it's not, because those locusts are just too damn scary. Oh, Bracada is afraid of losing this. This is an excellent macro game. So much good defensive play. And the map control that these locusts are providing is just phenomenal. And these swarm hosts, if the creep spread gets all the way down to the 3rd or even the natural of oh god, how do I keep forgetting these names? Bracada. Oh my goodness, these locusts are going to do so much damage, and oh, his army is going to try to get back in time, but he's not going to be able to do anything. Those locusts are going to come in from behind. The force fields are going to be wasted. Oh my goodness, and they all go invisible. Oh. A little bit of a mass recall. Wasted energy, though, because those locusts are just completely free. And, you know, Bracada's losing something every time he even tries. A couple of zealots in there to go ahead and try to take out that queen. They're going to be able to get it down, but, you know, at this point, the economic advantage is just so freaking in Zheryn's favor. It's not going to matter that much. These 2 other zealots go in to try to take out the hatchery that isn't there. Not an obvious move, so they're just going to chill for a while. Hey, but it is what it is. Going back to the income tag, we see that the harvester count is still back up in Zheryn's favor. You know, minerals and gas, they're pretty much evened out, although it looks like a little bit less is being used on Zheryn's side, but frankly, he doesn't even have to. He's got all these free units, and there is just absolutely no answer. No answer at all. One attack, no other ground upgrades. I mean, if I were Bracada right now, I would say, screw this, I'm getting air units, because I need them to be able to fend this off. A massive ton of Void Rays could come in here and snipe the queens down, and then start taking out all of these ridiculous swarm hosts, but nothing doing. This is a huge force, and right now Bracada's army, you know, that just, those stalkers, those immortals, those sentries, even the Mothership Core, nothing really doing there. And even with his excellent use of observers to make sure that he sees this coming, there's nothing he can really do about it. This proxy pylon is doing absolutely nothing. The creep spread is getting depleted, but those locusts, before they even die, are going to be able to get maybe a couple of attacks off. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but they're still pretty damn scary. And, you know, if he gets close enough, Zheryn's going to be able to do quite a lot of damage. But a good job on keeping the creep spread down. So eventually these things are going to come to a head, and it looks like Zheryn is going to be sending his locusts around the back to distract Bracada, but it's not going to work because he sees these units and he starts attacking them. He starts focus firing the swarm host down before anything can happen, and all of these locusts come out, but there's force fields everywhere, and it looks like, oh my goodness, it looks like this was actually a great success as far as Bracada was concerned, because those force fields were just so well placed. He's going to eventually have to back off, though, because these locusts are just too many. It is the definition of the swarm, and I think he still loses a fair amount of units or has a lot of damage done to him compared to these swarm hosts. I mean, sheer numbers. This is just a ridiculous amount of swarm hosts. How many is that? My God, I don't even know how many he lost, but that's a ton. What is it? Oh, God, 24 plus... Oh, Jesus, 30 swarm hosts, and he's still got, you know, 3-4 queens. You better get that one out of there before anything crazy happens. Bracada is still looking for a way around, but there just isn't one. This map control right here is absolutely brilliant. This huge clusterfuck of swarm hosts is doing a ridiculous amount of damage. And 7 queens to produce larva and spread creep all over the map. You know, map control, no matter what Bracada does, even with these couple of Colossus, even with this decently microed force, he just can't do much. He can take out the creep, and he can try to regain some map control, but no matter what happens, you know, I think Zheryn's going to be able to get a jump on him eventually, because these locusts are just so fucking scary. Oh my god, here they come. And he's going to send them out to the front lines and then just march right around the side and try to get a head up. Let's take a look at the production tab and see what's going on. We have Carapace and Spike Attack upgrades, so we're going to see some teching to different things. We're seeing Hydralisk. He's getting, man, I never remember the name of the upgrade, but it's the thing that makes them go faster. I want to say it's Groove Spines, but it's not. Here come a couple of Vipers, so we'll be seeing a little bit more, you know, special microing of les units, aside from, you know, just this giant swarm host, as it were. But right now, Bracada is trying to come up the side and take out more of these creep tumors and maybe catch Zheryn by surprise, but it isn't going to work. Of course, he sees all this stuff on the map with the creep tumors, and now that he's at the Xel'Naga Tower, well, Bracada sees all these locusts coming, and he's just going to get back home. So the creep is just going back and forth over the map, but I think it's an uphill battle right now for Bracada, because no matter what he does, no matter what he builds, even with his upgrades, and to be fair, he finally got one army, he got Thermal Lance, he's able to do so much with the short amount of units that he has, but Zheryn is just killing it with these locusts. I mean, God, it is a serious plague going on in here. And those locusts are going to go around the back. Are they going to be able to reach in time before they die? Their short lifespan is really their only downfall right now. Well, anyways, ever. And they're really keeping Bracada on his toes. But he has this nicely sized army, and he's doing pretty damn well despite it all. So he's even taken a 4th base over here. On the macro side of things, we see Zheryn hasn't really done much aside from saturate his 3rd base. He's completely mined out, of course, at his original. And, you know, upgrade tabs, nothing. Let's take a look at production. We see all the macro right now is going on over on Bracada's side, and look at this, Dark Shrine going down, trying to sneak in there and maybe use some Dark Templar to take out, well, you know, take out the economy, I would think. I don't think there's anything he can do with these Overseers right here with Dark Templar. Those Vipers are going to go right back home, but he's going to be trying, oh my goodness, he's going to be trying to, well, do something interesting with them. I actually have not read up enough on Vipers to know everything they do. I know this is entirely embarrassing. I'm casting a HOTS game, and I'm like, duh, what do Vipers do? I know what Swarm Hosts do. Yeah, so there's that. Okay, we saw all of those Dark Templars going up. There's actually a Templar Archives going down now, so maybe, I guess, feedback to counter the Vipers? Maybe something like that. Oh, those changelings are going out there. What a brilliant time to spawn changelings. Bracada isn't even going to notice those jumping into his army. He's just going to think that he mismicroed them. Oh, and there's what those Vipers are doing. They're pulling in the Colossi. What a brilliant strategy. Pulls it right on back, and those locusts just nuke it on down. So there goes bye-bye, 300 minerals and 200 gas. Man, Bracada is just kicking himself right now that those Vipers were allowed to do that. And that changeling, he's going to see everything. Oh, and those Swarmos are getting microed down. But with between the Vipers, oh, the Mothership Gore is just going to get completely nuked by those Queens and Hydras, and those Locusts are just too damn scary for anything to happen on Bracada's side. This is just a ridiculously good macro game. These DTs are sitting up in the corner waiting to wreak some havoc on the economy, but, you know, with this Spore Crawler, the Spines are going to pretty much take anything down really quickly. Another Evo Chamber going up, and we see over in the production tab that we have got a couple more of, I think that's Groove Spines. That's the Hydra attack range. I'm not so much a nub, I think. And then we see finally more upgrades going down for the Hydralisk. A lot more Hydras in production. And it looks like he's researching. Oh, Bracada's researching Psystorm. Does he have... Oh, that's just in production. Okay, fine. Fine. He does have a decent amount of Templars out on the field right now, but if you look at his total force composition, he doesn't really have a lot that can deal with this, you know, this current unit count that, you know, frankly, Zheryn's had on him all entire game. And these 4 Vipers are just wreaking massive havoc on every big unit that he tries to get. Even with the mis-macroing that Zheryn's doing right there, he still has so many Swarm Hosts, it doesn't even freaking matter. He's still up at 30. Maybe he even let that get sacrificed intentionally. He's got half a dozen of Overseers here, or 8 of them, actually. Wait, yeah, that is 8. Damn. So he's taking 0 chances, giving 0 fucks as far as this army engaging. And right now, I mean, on every little encounter, Look at that. Look at that distinct advantage. It's ridiculous. You know, units lost. Pfft, whatever, man. Look at those resources that Zheryn is gaining on him every single time. And those Templar are just doing absolutely nothing. Oh, it's looking like that was absolutely a terrible mistake for Bracada, but it was a valiant try nonetheless. He takes a 4th base over here, but really, unless he changes his composition, it's not going to matter. This game is all full-on macro mode, but the map control is completely in Zheryn's favor. He is doing phenomenally well. 27 minutes we're hitting here, and still no clear winner in sight. Although, if you look at these two numbers, these are important numbers, I just want to say. And I'm going to go over to the permanent food tab, just because I didn't do it the entire game. I know I should have. And this Locust and Swarm Host and Hydralisk and Queen Army is moving out, sitting still right on the edge of the creep while the creep spreads, and these Locusts are just chasing down everything before they, of course, die. Their inevitable, painful death. But they're still doing a decent job at pushing all over the map, and it looks like the creep is starting to go down while Bracada comes right around the side, but these Locusts are just going to be picking little bits and pieces off at a time of the army, while Zheryn sits there with the Swarm Host, and he's expecting to get hit pretty hard by a lot of Psystorms, so he moves those Swarm Hosts out to try to get away. They're taking damage. It's not a lot, though, to be honest. None of them are going down because they're not really weak units. So in the meantime, well, Zheryn still has the distinct upper hand in this, and he sends out another little scouting force. He's going to be trying to spread creep if he, well, he knows what he's doing. He's trying to spread more creep, although it looks like Bracada is being able to fire down a lot of the tumors as soon as they come on up, so he's doing a decent job of taking back the map. He's using nothing but Stalkers now, well, aside from the legacy units he had left, because he realizes that those big units aren't going to do him much good. These High Templar are a decent deterrent, but they don't take out the Swarm Host by themselves, and a massive army of Changelings is going straight over. Oh, but Bracada is having none of that bullshit. He knows exactly what those are. And the blink is up, and just before all these Locusts can get out, a couple of Swarm Hosts are fired down. Good force field action by Bracada. Excellent micro, and, well, it's kind of hard to tell who won that trade because, well, Zheryn did lose a lot of Swarm Hosts, but he can pile them on back up if he wants. And, Bracada still has to run away at the end of the day. So right now, 4 or 5 bases for either player. Well, it is quite the interesting back and forth. A lot of tussles right in the middle of the map. I mean, this has been a seriously exciting one. I knew this game was going to be long. I'm telling you guys, if you're still watching this, holy hell. Okay, I'm going to go, actually, I want to head to the APM. And I really should learn that hotkey, shouldn't I? A lot more micro going on over here with this roving force of Blink Stalkers, bunch of sentries, and, of course, these Templar to try and Psystorm the shit out of all those Locusts. They're doing a pretty good job at it, but those Locusts actually take a lot longer to go down than Zerglings. So, yeah, it worked, but it's honestly just a waste of energy. I'd turn those into Archons if I were him and just kind of go for the jugular. But this army, this ridiculous composition of Hydras, of Swarm Hosts, of Vipers, Queens, and, Overseers is just too hard to beat. Nothing doing, even though the significant numbers right now, I think, are on Bracada's side. He's able to do a pretty damn good job. And if we go back over to production, we see that, yes, more armor going down for the Zerg player, another Nexus being built over here in the corner, so eventually all these bases are going to be mined out if this keeps going as it is. We see some Ultralisks out on the field. I don't know how I missed that. I mean, it's not like you can hide an Ultralisk in your kitchen or something. They're pretty damn big. But in the meantime, Bracada's army is marching back onto the creep and shooting down the tumors. And we see Zheryn's army moving out with the Ultralisks at front. The Swarm Hosts are planted, and the Locusts are coming out. And there go the Blink Stalkers running away from that shit. Now, these Vipers, not a whole lot for them to do, but they managed to pull down the Mothership Core, but it's going to go right back to his base, no problem. But maybe those Hydras will be able to grab it. Maybe the Locusts will be able to grab it one more time before anything else happens. Oh, and it looks like, yep, Mothership Core goes down. Proxy pylon out here for not much of a particular reason. There hasn't been a lot of interesting surprise plays. In fact, every man, I'm losing all of my thoughts as they come into my head. We're mined out here at Zheryn's base. He's going to probably move over right here into this one. He's actually expanding a lot slower. I'm kind of surprised, but his micro has really picked up quite a lot, and that's probably the reason he's been neglecting his macro a little bit. Yeah. So his APM are a little bit higher. His average for this game has been absolutely awesome. He's been doing a great job. Oh. Did I just hit a bad button? I don't think I did. Okay. Good. Going back to upgrades. We see 3 spikes, 2 armor, all the Hydra upgrades, and that's the Viper thing, isn't it? Yeah, I'm really bad at this game. Oh, holy shit, I missed a giant attack going on over at this base of Zheryn's, and these Blinkstalkers are getting caught just in time to be able... Oh, they were going to get away, but those Ultralisks are having none of that, and all those Swarm Locusts are able to take out so many of those Blinkstalkers. Even though this hatch went down, it doesn't even matter. All those Swarm Hosts and their Locusts, all those Ultralisks and those Vipers, what an excellent catch. And if you look at the units and resources lost, man, we see that Bracada is way behind and licking his wounds. And in the meantime, a counterattack is prepping while the creep spreads. All those Locusts are going to go straight for this base. Oh, cannons are none. Here we go. The remainder of this army is going to try to pick off all of those guys while this ridiculous amount of changelings marches over and assimilates into Bracada's forces. But it looks like Zheryn is being really careful. He's backing off right now, even though he has an advantage. He's not pushing it too hard. He doesn't want to lose all his units and then be entirely vulnerable while his macro is just, you know, frankly a little bit behind, but it is kind of low, late point in the game anyways. So he doesn't even bother rebuilding his hatch. He just sends his drones all the way over there. Okay, I'm alright with that. Cool. That's good stuff. Let's take a look at the income tab and see what he's got. He's, you know, of course he's behind in money, but it doesn't even matter. He's got a lot less harvesters, but his forces are a lot better. He's got so much more stuff. 21 Swarm Hosts, nothing to sneeze at, and of course 4 Ultralisks is pretty damn scary. A lot of Hydras he transitioned to pretty well early in the game, and those Vipers, any big units that get put up are just going to get dragged away. So bye-bye Colossus, bye-bye Immortals. That is a lot of High Templar. He probably should be using those and turning them into Archons pretty soon. But here we go, the creep spread and those Locusts to put up a little bit of a front while the creep's going down again. Map control has really been back and forth this game. I've been very impressed by these two players and the amount of map control that they've had in this game. Very, very impressed. They've done a phenomenal job at running this middle. And, you know, that's really why this game is so long. It's not that the players are bad. It's not anything like that. And, well, I mean, I guess it should be pretty obvious. Anyone who has a decent understanding of this game will know that this is really a good back and forth. It's actually very exciting to watch. I still have no idea who's going to win this game. I have a feeling that these that these Templar are going to do quite a bit to influence that decision one way or the other, because they effectively neutralize all of these Locusts. But it does take a while, and they have to use a lot of energy, but in the meantime, they do a lot of damage. Those Locusts are tough enough with the armor upgrades. 3 threes, I mean, nothing at all to sneeze at, that the Storm doesn't really neutralize them, so I guess I misspoke. These 2 pylons are going to get taken out very quickly, and the Xel'Naga Tower has vision. But right now, Bracada is moving right on in here, and I think he realizes, where's that army? I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to get out of here before anything really bad happens. But those units are a bit slower on creep. Those Swarm Locusts, Hocus Pocus, are doing a lot of damage, and just firing down those Immortals just... I mean, for every unit that these Swarm Hosts kill, that's free money for Zheryn. I mean, it doesn't cost him a damn thing to produce these, so why not send them in on the front line and do as much damage as he can? Oh, and the Storms are going down. That Ultralisk is going to get nuked, but it doesn't even matter. The Swarm Hosts are right on back up, and every trade up, there's a lot more resources and more units being lost for Bracada, so he is fighting a serious uphill battle right now, losing buildings, losing units. Hey. But hey, he's got more minerals, he's got more gas, he's got more harvesters, he can macro back up, it's alright. We'll see how it goes. Dark Templar coming right around now to try and take out what is going down to be this 5th or 6th expansion, but we're going to see that Zheryn is going to have none of that. He might lose this hatch in time. He's going to get an Overseer up before anything can really happen. Hopefully he canceled those other spines. And there go, well, not quite yet, but there are going to go the DTs, and he actually saves the hatchery. Wow, and he deters that army coming in advancing at the same time. This is some really excellent Locust micro. So he keeps that hatchery up, and it's just going to slowly recover for a while, but he might be turtling a bit while he waits for that to come back online. And if you take a look at his unit count, he's still close to maxed out. So is Bracada, but he's a little bit behind. Not by much. Whoa, all these probes on this fully mined out base should probably be heading over here right now. But right now, I think Bracada's got a few more things to worry about than that. He's really being cautious of getting caught and pincered. He knows what happened up here about 10 minutes ago. He does not at all want that to happen. And wow, that is a lot of changelings. Army comes in here to finish the job and take out that hatch. It's going to be able to do it, fire it down, but not before... Well, he gets out of town. Job well done. But these Colossi and this Mothership Core, well, they're going to go invisible before they can get pulled. Well done. Excellent job. Even though the detection is there, he doesn't want to get in too close, and he knows that Bracada is going to go straight back to base. Oh, well, I'm sorry. What was I talking about? He did a mass recall, so he did go back to base a lot quicker than all that. Good job on a hit-and-run attack. Very, very Protoss guerrilla warfare, Bracada. Excellent micro. Good job, man. And here come the Locusts. Even those storms, they take a while to get them focused down. And the Blink Stalkers are trying to fire down that one Swarm host who got a little bit behind. But you know what? This number of hosts, 19 of them, I think? Yeah, that's just quite a lot. He's also not even building anymore, and you look at the upgrades, he's just fully done. 3-3s for both players. All the Hydra upgrades, Templar upgrades, and of course Colossus upgrades. So this is just going to be a who catches who kind of moment whenever this final epic battle does happen. Or maybe somebody will run out of resources first, who knows. But both these players are still marching around the map, and we were only hitting 42 minutes. 42 and a half minutes. Hatchery comes right on back up for Zheryn. He does not want to lose his macro advantage. And this small but deadly force of Blink Stalkers, High Templar, and decent number of Colossus and Immortals, plus a Mothership Core, is just what the Doctor ordered. Wow. And that is just one hell of a Dark Templar right now, taking out that Spore all by himself, but he is going to get martyred as fast as you can say for ire, and there he goes. But these Locusts are coming around back. They're actually providing a fair amount of vision to whatever Bracada is going to be doing with his army. So at any given moment, Zheryn really knows where everything is. Even with these proxy pylons and these observers, Bracada doesn't know half as much as Zheryn does right now about the map. So he has got all the positioning. He's had a distinct advantage for most of the game, and of course, if you look at the units lost tab, he's really coming out better in every one of these trade-offs. But I don't know, man. Bracada's been holding off every one of his attacks pretty well. But here come a little bit of Locust to scare the pants out of this expansion. But they're going to die right before that happens, of course. He really needs those to get up a little bit closer. That is one thing about Locust, is that they're just damn low on life, and they don't last very long. But these Stalkers that are just out here are firing down these changelings. He knows exactly what they are, of course. No fooling him. Same old trick has been in the book all day. And here comes Zheryn round the side corner. Maybe he'll be... Well, was he going to go for this expansion? I don't know. If he can get... These creep tuners are being fired down really damn well. I mean, really damn well. Bracada is just on top of this. And yeah, he storms those Locusts, but here come... Oh, the Vipers. He grabs the Colossus not once, but twice. But nothing doing. That Colossus just gets out of town nice and safe. Zheryn just doesn't want to lose any more of these units. So he spawns another Locust army and just kind of lets it go. Well, there we go. And this back and forth, this up and down on this map has just been absolutely, well, not boring. It's just been crazy, not super predictable, but neither player is giving an inch, and they're just matching each other absolutely well. So maybe let's take a look back at their bases. What do they have going on? Never rebuilt the hatch there. That one finally went down, but he's hardly mined in there. This one is almost mined out. And oh, look at this. Another Locust horde coming all the way over. And those Toss are just going to run right away from it. But looks like the creep is going to be spread up on the high ground. Here come the Queens to plant down a few more of those creep tumors. Good creep spread still going on, trying to take over this other Xel'Naga tower. Well, it looks like Bracada is being slowly forced backwards, even though he's reasonably well mined on all of these bases. Oh my goodness. All these bases are just totally mined out. There are very few unused mineral fields left, and these free Locusts are still just picking away at the army that Bracada still has on the field. Both players are damn near maxed out on food count. Those Vipers really want to pull those Colossi, don't they? And if they catch him off, maybe he can pull one or two things in, but maybe not. I don't know. Ugh, and he's just running away. He's afraid of something going on, of anything. Well, macro game is really almost non-existent right now. Production, 2 more Vipers going down. Extra building shields, I think that is, or just extra shields going up finally for the Protoss. So he's just continuing to spend the extra minerals that he has right now. It looks like the Zerg is actually a lot lower on minerals and harvester count. He's fallen far behind in his macro game, even though the loss tab is, you know, so much in his favor. That doesn't mean much the longer the game goes on. So he's microing really well, but he doesn't have a whole lot going on for his macro, and he's got just so few workers by comparison. Here comes this force. He's going to try and snipe down. Oh my goodness, Bracada is going to try to snipe down this hatchery once again, even though he's got almost nothing mining on it. And this massive unit is going to send out all of its locusts, but the mass recall is going to happen just in time after the hatch goes down, and it looks like nothing doing. He loses the hatch again. Zheryn has got to be pissed right now. Man, and there goes even more of his economic advantage. The locusts were just too little too late. So what's he going to do? Is he going to transition into another game? Is he going to stick with what he has and just hope it works out? I don't know. We see the game starting to tilt over in Bracada's favor at 48-48 in the game. He finally takes, what is that, a 6th expansion? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? No, only 5 expansions. Okay, no, am I wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 expansions. And he's starting to deter the creep spread, putting down just a ton of photon cannons. And no matter what Zheryn does, I don't know if he can stop this. I mean, he has to get his creep just a little further ahead. He's planting down a few more tumors, and he's sort of poking in and out and seeing what he can do, but all of these DTs will do so much stupid amounts of damage if he gets anywhere near them. The Locusts, you know, whatever, they're free, but he doesn't want to lose these Hydras. He doesn't want to lose the Vipers, you know, the feedback and everything. He doesn't want to lose the Swarm Hosts if they get too close. So hopefully, well, now Bracada knows exactly what's coming his way. He's going to send up his force and try to stop it, but it looks like already we see Zheryn pulling back. A serious game of chicken in this game at 50 minutes in. So what is going on right now is, I would guess, somebody's going to lose a fair amount of units and then just call it GG, say, fuck it, I've been in this game for 50 minutes, 50 plus minutes, and it has just been a ridiculous back and forth. But hey, no matter what happens, it'll be a good game. I'm excited to see the outcome of this one. I'm losing my voice right now. I'm not even shouting it, but wow. We are just seeing so much back and forth, and the middle of the map was just absolutely key to this game. I mean, both players utilized it to the fullest. Creep spread going down on Zheryn's side, it being shot back, and all these storms being shot off whenever the Locusts got too close with this ridiculous High Templar force. How many High Templar is that? Holy crap, we've got, oh, something on the magnitude of 20? Yeah. Oh, but here comes the Locust Horde to try and take out this extra base, and maybe just tilt the economic scale in Zheryn's favor. Is he going to do it? All of these Protoss units are coming in while some of these Swarm Hosts are out of position, but the other Locusts are spawning just in time. Are they going to be able to take down? This is easily the biggest battle we've seen all game. And all of those storms are just going down, taking out all of those Locusts, and finally they get focused themselves on the Swarm Hosts, who are just dropping like really ugly looking flies, and the Vipers are just running away. I think this is going to be GG. All those Swarm Hosts just completely taken out. That Ultralisk don't give a fuck. He's just doing the damage. Well, we still have about 8 Swarm Hosts, and nobody has called it quits. But these Templar have been just so valuable to Bracada in this game. Holy shitballs. And the Swarm Hosts just say, nah, we're going to keep doing things. But let's take a look at the production tab. What's going down? An Ultralisk Cavern. Okay, that's interesting. For Zheryn. And his unit count, though, has shot way down in the meantime. He has almost nothing left. And right now, this little force is going to be entirely unabated, marching into Zheryn's, you know, map, bases, shooting down all his tumors. Even though Zheryn finally got his base over here mined up again, this powerhouse force is going to be able to do quite a lot of damage if he chooses to actually counterattack. Now what happened to the Swarm Hosts, I wonder? Where are they at? Where are they sitting? I don't even know. But meanwhile, we see Bracada marching straight into this base, going straight for the jugular and taking out Zheryn's hatchery. He's just nuking down the spines one by one. And here he comes. Those Templar are just not even going to do anything. They don't even care. These 4 Colossus are going to be more than enough to take out this hatchery, the rest of these spines, and of course that Spore Crawler. But Bracada's going to pull back before he finishes the job. Maybe let the Zealots take it out. Yeah, save a couple of his more higher and more expensive units. And we see he didn't really lose a lot there. So, there we go. There's a force built up. Holy crap! Where did these Ultralisks come from? They are just built up out of nowhere while I was sat there jabbering and just talking about all the goofy stuff that was going on, completely inconsequential to this game. All those storms going down, the Ultralisks don't even care. Storms don't do that much damage to them, and oh my goodness, I thought that Bracada had this game, but even with all those storms going down, those Ultralisks are going to be able to take out everything that Bracada has, all of his forces. He's got nothing left. And that's GG, I'm pretty sure. He's not saying it yet, but even with these low health Ultralisks, even with all the cannons that they're sure to be going down right now at this base, well, a couple of mortals up, I guess no. But those Ultralisks turned out to be a really good idea, and all of these probes are going to be completely nuked as they try to get the hell away from the onslaught, but they don't. They run right into it. And, oh my goodness, this dozen Ultralisks are going to be able to do so much damage, take out everything that Bracada still has, and it's going to be GG, whether or not we're seeing it down at the bottom here. Those extra swarm hosts for some Locust support going straight there. All these Zealots are going to come out, but they're not going to be super effective against these Ultralisks. And, of course, these Vipers are still standing, so maybe he'll make good use of them. Oh, and these Zealots come out to try and take out the swarm hosts that are still remaining, but the Ultralisks are going to be able to do a lot of damage without losing too many of their numbers. And there it is, the GG! Bracada leaves the game. Zheryn wins it after a stunning 56 minutes. Almost no serious battles, just a couple of skirmishes, and at the end there, the transition to Ultralisks was just too much. My God, I'm losing my voice here. This is ridiculous. This was a hell of a game. Well worth my time. I wish I'd actually played a little more tonight, but man, that was a cool cast. Oh, man. So I hope you enjoyed it. Zheryn, Bracada, great game. And I'm going to use my GG button because I always do. Way to play, though. 56.5 minutes almost. Beautiful. Freaking beautiful. You guys did a great job, and this cast has probably gone on over an hour by now, so I'm going to shut it off. Say goodnight. This is Pyrotechnics. I hope you enjoyed my cast. If you like it, leave me feedback. If you don't, tell me I suck. Just post a comment. It's okay. I won't take it personally. So, hope you enjoyed it, and that's all for me.